Hey everybody, I'm going to be doing a baking video, and if I remember correctly, I think this is my first baking video of 2017. It has been a while. I am going to be doing lemon meringue cookies. Now, the reason I do the quotes is because the meringue is actually going to be marshmallow fluff. I couldn't be bothered to actually make the meringue, and it was a lot easier just to use the marshmallow fluff. I have already filmed the cooking portion of this video, and I have not edited the footage yet. So there's a part in there that I was having trouble with the kitchen torch that I had bought just to make these cookies. So what I ended up doing, instead of using the kitchen torch, which would not work, I just put the cookies under the broiler. So hopefully that will explain if the editing gets a little confusing on how I ended up doing these. But if you decide to make these cookies, let me know how they turned out. I would love to hear back from you. I hope you enjoy this baking video. I have my ingredients laid out right here. I'm going to need all-purpose flour, granulated white sugar, dark brown sugar, lemon extract, vanilla extract. There's the lemon. I had it turned around. Vanilla extract, white chocolate chips, a cup of butter, and 2 eggs. So I'll be using 1 cup of butter softened, 1 cup of granulated white sugar, 1 cup of packed brown sugar, 2 eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I will be using the lemon extract. I'm not sure how many teaspoons I'm going to need to make the cookies really lemony. I'm going to start out with 2, and I'll see if I need to add some more. 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of salt. I forgot to put the salt out there. Some white chocolate chips. And then this marshmallow fluff over here, that is going to be my meringue. You know, do the quote-unquote meringue, because it's not real. It's going to be marshmallow. And then I do have one of the kitchen torches that I'm going to kind of do like a whatever you call it, burn the top of it to kind of make a, you know, like that meringue top of it. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I went ahead and measured everything out. So right now I've just got my 2 sticks of butter right here. I'm going to go ahead and mix those up a little bit before I add the sugars. And I've got both the white sugar and brown sugar there. I went ahead and sifted my flour with my salt. So I'm going to go ahead and start mixing these up for you guys and for myself as well. I just like to do the butter first before I add the sugar and then the eggs. That looks pretty good to me, so I'm going to go ahead and scrape the sides of the bowl and then put the sugar in. And I'm just going to dump all of this. And just mix it extremely well. And then I'm going to scrape it down and add the eggs, and then the vanilla and the lemon. Now the best way to do this is actually crack the egg into another bowl and then put it in there, but I'm going to give it a shot and hopefully I won't get any shell in there. Okay, the first one was good. No shell with the first one. And no shell with the second one. I did really well on that. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And then 2 teaspoons of lemon extract to start with on that. And then I'm going to go ahead and taste it. Now, I cannot recommend you to actually taste it because it does have raw eggs in it. So I'm not suggesting that you do that, but I will be doing it myself. Just telling you about that. Be safe when you try tasting cookie dough. I'm going to go ahead and mix this up now. I like to make sure everything is well incorporated. I'm going to excuse me, I'm going to scrape the sides down And then I'm just going to get a spoon and give it a little taste. And just see what I think. Not very much. I think you could definitely use 1 more teaspoon of the lemon. It has a very faint lemon flavor, and I'm liking a little bit more. Now this is going to cause the consistency to be a little bit more watery. I may have to put just a little bit more flour in there, just to see, just to make it a little bit thicker. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and start adding the flour just a little bit at a time. I don't want to dump it all in, so maybe about a 1/4 or so, maybe a little bit less, just eyeballing it. It makes it easier to mix if you do a little bit at a time, and also your flour won't go everywhere. I'm going to go ahead and add the white chocolate chips. I'm going to start out with about a 1/2 bag first and see if I need to add any more. So I'm going to go ahead and just dump those in there. It's about a 1/2 bag right there. I'm going to just stir them, and I may go ahead and use the mixer again. You don't have to, but sometimes it just gets it better incorporated if you do use the hand mixer. And of course you can use a big KitchenAid mixer if you want. I have one of those. I just find it more trouble than it's worth. And I've got a really, really small kitchen, so there's not a good place to use it. I'm actually going to add some more of the chocolate chips just after that few mixes with my hand. I don't think it was enough. I'm going to go ahead and start putting some of the cookies on the tray. I am just using a spoon to get them out. I did have a very small ice cream scoop which worked wonderfully, but it has disappeared on me. I have no idea where it is. Also, my oven has been preheating to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So my hands are very clean. I just washed them. I washed them multiple times throughout the cooking process. So I'm going to roll them up because I like a perfect size cookie, or the same size cookie I should say. Same size cookie. Usually though I will get some really, really big ones sometimes. That's a little bit smaller than I would prefer, but let's see. I may make a bigger one. That looks good. It's just kind of trial and error till you get the size that you want. That's why I like that a little bit. It's a tiny ice cream scoop, but it was the perfect size for cookies. And so these are going to bake approximately 10 to 12 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. It all depends on the size of the cookies. This one out here, this little one, it could probably go actually 8 minutes, but I'm making some bigger ones. And remember, you do not want to overcook them. You take them out before they're completely done because they will finish cooking on the pan. So the timing is very important. I like to undercook them a little bit. That's just the way I prefer. So I really start looking at them at about 8 minutes, and then I check them again about 10 and then 12. And if they're really, really big, you may want to go to 14 minutes. It just depends on how big you make them. I got the cookies out of the oven and I plated some, so I'm going to go ahead and start putting some of the fluff on them right there, and then I'm going to go get the blowtorch. That's making me a little bit nervous, I'll be honest with you. I went ahead and set it up outside. I'll bring it inside, but I read the instructions several times, so I wasn't sure if I was going to need a spoon or like a little spreader like that. We'll see how it goes. We'll start with a spoon. So this stuff is pretty sticky. I may need both of them. I think the spreader is going to work better. So I'll just
That may be too much. I transferred the cookies back to the baking sheet, and I'm going to put them in under the broiler on high and watch them very closely. Again, this was an experiment. The little kitchen torch thing did not work, or I am completely using it wrong. I did read the directions multiple times. I followed exactly what it said, and I can't get it to work. So I'm assuming it's defective or something got left out of the instructions. So I'm going to go ahead and try this and see what happens. I just got them out from the broiler, and this is what they're looking like right now. So I don't know what they're going to taste like, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a try, and I'll definitely let you know how they tasted. So when you're putting them under the broiler, you cannot leave them. I basically just stood there with the door open, moving the pan around and kind of trying to get them evenly. Obviously these middle ones got a little bit more, but there you go. If you want to try one of these lemon quote-unquote meringue cookies, because I use marshmallow fluff instead of real meringue. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Bye-bye, guys.